Hey guys, I'd like to start first of all by apologising for how long it's taken to get any new videos online. I've been busy working on a little project which you should all be able to find out about within the next couple of weeks. Until then it's kind of in the wraps. But what I've had from quite a few of my subscribers and a few of the people that have posted some comments is requests for me to do a review on the Elgato EyeTV hybrid that I bought. I've done an unboxing video of that. I think it's 5th or 6th video, and basically today I'm going to review it because I've used it for around about 2 months ish, and I think that's pretty much long enough for me to be able to sum up and give you the good and bad points. So basically I'll start off just by showing the actual piece of kit. If you're not familiar with it, this is the actual TV receiver software and hardware. So you've got the aerial jack at the back there. On the side is a little jack for an adapter that you get with it, which is this. I'll talk about that in a second. So that's a tiny little peripheral jack there. That's USB 1.1 and 2. It weighs pretty much nothing. I'd say maybe probably about 15 to 20 grams, which is nothing, so you can keep it in your pocket. The thing I've noticed when maybe viewing for an hour to 2 hours, which isn't a very long time when you're watching TV, because you can watch TV all day. Well, I can. If you touch this thing, it gets very, very hot. I'd say probably about as hot as the bottom of a MacBook Pro, which for something this small is pretty amazing. But then again, that's probably down to the fact that it's all compacted in such a small space. And it's not really a big issue because it's designed to dissipate the heat through the casing. So the fact that it gets hot is, in a sense, a good thing, because then it cools down through the fact that the outer casing's getting hot. So this is that, and this was what I was talking about a second ago. This little jack here looks like a small USB connector, but it's not. It's specific for the Elgato. Plugs in to the side. You just clip it in nicely. It doesn't fall out too easily. And then on the other side, you've got the jacks for if you want to, let's say, use a PS3 or an Xbox. You'd plug it into here. And then you could, if you didn't have a TV or a screen, or if one of your screens bust, blah blah blah, you could plug it into here and then play your Xbox through the laptop screen, which is pretty good, especially for me, because back at university I don't have any spare screens at the moment because I've got an iMac, and that's technically a screen as part of the PC, so I can't use that as anything else, which this will come in handy. So when I get back to the UK, this will be quite useful. Although I haven't tested this out yet, obviously, because my Xbox is dead, the red ring of death. Brilliant. But I mean, as soon as I do test it out, I'll be happy to put a video up. So that's that. In the box you get this little, I don't know, it's probably about 50-60 centimeters. This little cable with a tiny mini aerial on the end. I don't know if you can see that. I'll put it on that side. And there we go. Which is not exactly that big, and it's quite flexible. One good thing about this is the bottom is magnetic, so if you're in an apartment where you have some rails outside, you can just stick it on the sorry, you can stick it on the rails outside, and then it'll obviously adjust it so you can get better signal, etc. So what I do when I do it is just stick it on my radiator. So I mean, if I stick it on the top up there, then it gets actually a pretty good signal. It does get hot, but no big deal, it's just metal. The only issue I've had with it so far is the fact that being in Brussels, there aren't very many terrestrial channels, so it's all basically Sky and all their different versions. So you get 2 channels called Le 1 and Le 2, so that's basically the 1 and the 2, which are both in French. So that's brilliant. Hasn't been too fun, but I can get some radio, and occasionally, if I'm very, very lucky, I can just about adjust it to get some UK channels, which are obviously streamed through the Belgian network, but it's happens to be a program that's in English. And that connects into the back of there, as you can see. And then the last thing that you get, I'll show you, is this little cable, which is supposed to basically like extend your connection from the Elgato to the USB port, but that's not really that long a cable. So what I did is I used this, which is the Apple USB extender lead that you get with the Slim keyboard, which obviously I think this is probably about 3/4 of a meter long. So that makes it much more useful to, if it's not in a good position, so you can put it, let's say, further away, so you don't have to put your laptop by the window, which I used to have to do before I found this cable, which is good. And the last thing to talk about is the little remote controller you get. Really lightweight. I don't think I've got any batteries in here at the moment. Actually, I do. So even with batteries in, it's very lightweight. And one thing I like about it is the buttons are quite clunky. So if you can see there, the buttons are actually quite raised off the top. But I think that just makes it easier to use. And if you're laying down on the couch and then you're just flicking about with channels, it's quite good. One thing that not a lot of people know is that you can also use your Apple remote. So their software will allow you to use the Apple remote to do some basic functions like change the volume, skip channels forwards and back, which is actually pretty good. So it's sort of trying to incorporate itself as much as possible into the way you already use your Mac, which I think is quite good. That's the hardware and all the stuff you get in the box and the functionality. And if I'm going to go further into that just by saying the software for Elgato that they provide for their hardware is, if not the best TV streaming, TV viewing, TV recording software that I've so far played with, because it integrates perfectly with Apple's and it integrates perfectly with their hardware, obviously. It's easy to use. You get a little controller up on, that'll be your right. So you get a little controller up here with basic functions. And the back end, you get a 3-year subscription to a TV schedule. So you can basically, it tells you in the software when programs are going to be on for the channels that you can see. You can also record TV channels, then export those to Apple TV and iPod, which is pretty good. And one of the very nifty features that's just been released in the 2.5 version is if you record a TV show or a film or anything on that's being streamed through, obviously, the TV signal, you can then save it into a format that is viewable on iPod. And if your iPod is connected to, if your iPod Touch or your iPhone is connected to the same network as your laptop or PC running EyeTV, then it will actually stream the program. So a program being a film or a TV channel or something that you've recorded, it will stream it onto here through its own little web service. So you don't even have to sync it, so you can just basically save it, stream it, and then watch it on here in real time. I've tried this, and I don't think I can do it at the moment because there's a bit of a problem with getting this on the network, but it's crystal clear. It sort of jags a few times depending on how fast your network connection is. But I haven't had any problems with it so far, and it's pretty good. Obviously, with the battery life, it's slightly more of a drain because it's having to use the Wi-Fi and obviously the screen and the battery and everything. So, altogether, I think I paid somewhere around about €100 for this, which would be, I don't know, $160, $170-ish, which is pretty good. So, altogether, I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. Just the fact that the little area they give you with it isn't exactly what I'd call perfect, but all in all, very, very good piece of software. So I'm just about to run out of time, but thanks very much for watching, and hopefully I'll have some more videos up soon.